Hello, I'm Zoid. Welcome to Zoid's YouTube channel, where I talk about things to do with electronic music, sometimes jazz, Aphex Twin, I don't know, bunch of stuff. Today I want to talk about reamping. And reamping is a really useful technique for making sounds. I mean, if you're making sounds in your computer, they can often sound a bit sterile, cold, digital sounds. So reamping is where you send the sound out of your computer into some kind of amp, like a guitar amp maybe, or any kind of speaker really, and then you record the sound coming out of the speaker and you send it back into your computer. You're digitizing it then, but you've added all these kind of harmonics and things to the sound, and it can sound really good, much more alive and energized. So to give you an analogy why I think this works, think about a human voice, right? And it's got lots of different volumes that you can talk really loud or you can talk really quiet. Let's say you recorded talking really quietly, and you also recorded talking, like shouting at the top of your voice. And you got those two recordings, but then you made the shouty one quieter and the quiet one louder until they were the same exact volume. They would still sound totally different though. Even though they were the same volume, they would sound completely different because the timbre of the sounds is going to be completely different. When you're shouting, your vocal cords are straining, and when you're talking very quietly, there's not much air even going through. They're not straining at all. They're just barely moving. So they produce different timbres. It's kind of the same with a signal. If you have say a bass drum that you generated, or a sample or something in your DAW, and you got that bass drum or bass sound, and you can't really push it beyond a certain amount on your DAW. Well, you can, but it'll start clipping after 0 dB. You've got a kind of hard limit of 0 dB on your DAW, and then if digital clipping's not that really nice to listen to, there's a lot of plugins that do try and simulate what happens when you drive a speaker or an amp really hard. Things like saturators, distortion plugins, there's a lot of analog distortion plugins, but I've always found that it's really hard to get that actual bite and energy that you actually get when you're hearing a speaker in real life distorting, just struggling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that if I have a sound that I generate in my DAW from a soft synth, say, and I send it out to my amplifier, my guitar amp, and I've got this tube amp, small one, and then even using a little gain and not even that much volume will drive that speaker hard and make it kind of distort a bit. By the way, guitar amps distort. You have the ability to, like on many amps, you can press a button, gain or distortion or overdrive, or you have a gain knob as well, so you can turn that up and the volume down. So there are things that have been added to the design of amps because in the early days people liked the sound. The amps weren't supposed to do that. They would turn it up so loud that the amp would overdrive the speaker, and you get all that added harmonic distortion, which people realized, hey, this sounds good. They were like getting the first distorted guitar sounds, and they're like, great, we like it like that. So later on, amp makers added it as a feature that you could drive the amp. If you press that gain button, you're driving the amp harder, or driving the speakers harder than you would be otherwise, and more than the speaker is able to reproduce without the distortion coming in, which is what we want. We want to add distortion. So when we do this, we can add in the sound that we record to the original sound, just to get it. We can add in even like 10%, 20%, 30%, just to add something to that original sound. Or maybe sometimes you just want to take that whole recorded sound and use that 100% of that, get rid of the original sound. Maybe sometimes you do that. All right, let's have a look at what we can do here. So let's jump in. Okay, so here's a track I'm working on, and it's got this FM8 kind of acidy line. It's the first thing. Okay, then let's say I want to reamp that. So I send it external out. Which one was it again? Oh my god, I've forgotten. 7. I think 7 is coming out of my audio interface, out of this lead here, which I plug into the guitar amp. And then let me show you what's going on here. So I've got the guitar amp, so it should come out of that. Yes, it does. Okay, now I'm going to set up a audio channel. Reamp FM8. Select the audio input is 18. Oops, not 17. 18. Record. Hit record. Okay, so now I've got, oh, did I not hit record? Okay, one second. All right, so yeah, I didn't record that. I'm recorded it now. So we'll put this back on main out. Now I've got, there's just so much more bite, so much more energy. It sounds way, way better. I don't know if you can hear it through the mic or whatever, but yeah, really good. Okay, so that is reamping, and you can do it on any kind of sounds. You can do it on percussion sounds, bass sound, whatever. It's like, you know, if you have a guitar amp, great. That's a good amp that I was using there. That's a Blackstar HT1, so a 1-watt tube amp. It's actually a tube amp, so a really nice tube sound. And then I was recording with the industry standard SM58, really good microphones, dynamic mics, so it's not going to pick up sound from far away, but if the sound going right in there, it's going to be really good. So that's reamping. Try it yourself. Why not?